Hello friends, welcome to my Rolodex Art Under the Sea, and here I'm showing you quickly a picture of my drawing. I didn't record it for some reason and started painting. I'm using burnt sienna for the dark and buttermilk, which looks kind of peachy on that paper, but it is buttermilk, and that's what I'm doing for my skin. I'm just kind of pulling it through and using that for highlights, lowlights, and shading. So that's my skin color. Pretty simple. As I get lower on the skin, I get the more pure buttermilk color, and in the variations like from the dark to the mixture of the two colors. And then I'm doing the same thing with the areas in the eyes and around the eyes and the jawbone and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to grab some teal soon here and throw them on her beautiful eyes after I get a little bit of touching up with the shading here. So as for brushes, I do not know the sizes of these brushes. I don't know. One's I think a 10. I'm not sure if that's the right reading of it. And the other one I can't read because it's got peeled off on the wood. So they're very small and they're very old brushes, and they were from Walmart. So nothing too spectacular. For her hair, from the left side, I have some red, and this is all acrylic paint from DecoArts. So I have myself some red here, like the cadmium, and then I have some red barn next to it, so it's a very darker browny red. And then below those two colors, I have a shrimp. There I am saying hi to my grandson. We are Skyping or FaceTiming. He's in the bathtub painting with Grandma. We do that every once in a while where we're working together on our projects, and I will be painting something and he'll be doing something. It's a Crayola paint that's washable, and Charity puts paper on the wall and he paints away. She has all the colors lined up on the bathtub, and then once he's done, rinse everything off and he has a nice fun bath. So perfect. Now I am using those same colors that I have for her hair pulled out for Sebastian. And I'm doing the darker reds first. So the two reds that are on top, the cadmium red there and the red barn, I'm kind of mixing together on the same brush there without even wiping it and just putting it on there. And I'm going joint by joint and kind of leaving a little space, and I put a little bit of the shrimp on that space. So that's what I'm doing. It highlights the jointed areas for him. And putting a little burnt sienna on his lower lip, his upper lip, and then later on I put a little marker there and I blend it in with more the reds. I have that school bus yellow for his eyes, so I do a couple layers of that because his eyes are yellow. And then I put a dash of buttermilk right kind of behind his black of his eyes after it dries. But yeah, just kind of doing some layers there. Excuse me. So as I'm going in darker a little bit here now. I'm like, okay, I lighten it up, and then I'm darkening it up with the burnt sienna and a little bit of the barn red. Here I have the teal and the green for her little swimming parts. So this is the cobalt teal, and it's just a touch of it, and the blue green, and it's a very light blue green. And I use that after for the finishing touches. I use up my paints for the seaweed. Here I am using a nice blue. It's a purpley blue, and this is the closest color I could find without stopping the video and grabbing a purple. And I just use buttermilk on top for highlights. I go back in there and kind of fix those up anyways. And here I am doing some buttermilk on her hair. I find that I didn't like quite how it was looking, so I just went in darker. But that's a thing, you play with it till you're happy. Getting in some of that shrimp under her eyes and that kind of thing. The buttermilk is really good for highlighting the cheekbones and the chin and her nose, that kind of thing. Now I'm doing her torso there, a little bit of shading and a little bit of buttermilk. And it's just a little piece there, so I almost forgot. So now I'm using the teal and the green for their bubbles, and buttermilk for the dotting of the highlights. And it's looking good. A little buttermilk for highlights on Sebastian, like where the little claws are, his lip, his nose, on top of his nose. Now I'm using the Posca pen a little bit for the dark spots. I really run out here and it starts scratching, so I use a different marker. Now the marker I'm used, I don't know what it is, and it kind of smears when it gets wet. What is this? It is a Dealer Rowney graphite. It's some kind of scrapbooking, and some of the calligraphy pen, maybe calligraphy marker, and it's kind of rubbed away, so I can't really tell you what it is. So it has two ends. It's got a sharper end, and I'm using it right now, and big end. I don't know. Anyways, I find that I was really careful to see if it smeared, and it does smear. So I was using that to my advantage, putting a little bit of the red over top to kind of blend it in and make darker low lights in her hair. So I used that to my advantage with this marker. So I'm guessing, you know, you could probably play around with some markers. I just ran out of the Posca pen, and I just could not do it anymore, and I wanted it. So that's what I did. And where I didn't, you know, I left it where I could, you know, didn't need to go over. Did a little bit of on his upper lip with the black pen over that brown, because the brown, or the, yeah, it was brown, actually burnt sienna, but it was just not dark enough, so I did the marker there, and I just blend some of the marker that I put on the bottom lip right there, and I did around his little claws, so it looked cute. Highlighting a little bit more, and you can see now that some of that marker's underneath there, but it looks great. It's not too black popping out. I kind of just tricked it to blend in there. I used it as a mixed media piece. Just mixed it in. Here I'm doing the seaweed things. That's to use up that leftover green and teal. And I love it, love it, love it. This would be really fun. I'm just doing some highlights here. I had too much water the first time around. This would be fun, like a big piece, but I wanted to do Rolodex arts. It's so nice because then you don't get tired of your piece, and it's kind of fun for me and refreshing. So right now it's one of my favorite things to do. So I think I'm about done. I do a little highlights with my white, although my white's in the same condition as my black. It's pretty not working anymore, so gotta give up hope there. I'm just going to cut out to the size of my Rolodex and leave Ariel's hair and some seaweed up, and that's pretty much it. I really like this project, this little Rolodex. See, that card is basically what all of my Rolodex are made of, just the recycled mail type of thing that you send out for things that are happening. That was for our YWAP. And that is her and Sebastian. I hope you guys like this. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.